Hey YouTube, what goes on? And welcome to Disavowed Action Figures and another action figure unboxing and review. This time we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends Ulik Walmart exclusive ? So huge shout out and thank you to Big Nerdy over at Nerdzoic. I can't do it as well as he does. Check out his store and check out his YouTube channel and Instagram. Great dude. Love watching his videos. But his toy store is incredible, and he posted on Instagram that he did have a few boxes of these for sale on Nerdzoic's toy website. I jumped on it. I pounced. I thought to myself, you know what? I'd rather spend a couple extra dollars and get this from a private retailer rather than getting it from Walmart. I like supporting the little guy when I can. So this thing looks fantastic. We're going to crack it open, take a look at the figure itself, look at the articulation, and my favorite part about it, look at some comparisons with other Marvel Legends to kind of get an idea how big and beefy this guy is. And I'll tell you what, I knew he was big, I knew he was beefy, but till I got him in hand, this dude is huge. So first, take a closer look at the packaging, which is one of my favorite parts of action figures. It's so hard for me to throw away boxes. Let's take a closer look at this one before we crack them out. But before we get to that, if you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps us out tremendously growing the channel. Hit that bell for notifications so you're told we post new content here on the channel, like our toy hunts that are twice every week, like our live streams where we do unbox figures quite often, interact as a community, like these reviews that we occasionally put out there when there's a figure we are super excited about, like I am here for Ulik, and also for daily toy content and daily toy updates. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Disavowed_12. Let's get to the review. So taking a closer look at the packaging, we do get the Thor logo on the front as well as Ulik's name. On the top, we do get a Thor hammer. The sides, as you saw on the rotating base, we get a really great artistic rendering of Ulik the Troll. On the back, there's the write-up, the strongest and fiercest of all trolls. Ulik the Troll King is strong and stubborn as the stone of Asgard. Bottom legalese, all the stuff we don't really care about. Now it's time to compare this to one more or two more things before we open them up. So, a little bit of history lesson. If you were unaware, this is actually somewhat of a re-release of Marvel Legends. Ulik the Troll was originally put out in a multi-pack as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, where they're all kind of connected using boxing like this. I absolutely loved Odin's son Thor, the unworthy hero. I am a huge comic book fan. I love Jonathan Hickman Avengers, and that was the version of Thor we had in Jonathan Hickman's run of Avengers and Time Runs Out, which went right in the Secret Wars, which is very topical right now thanks to the Marvel MCU. So I picked this up. I never had the heart to unbox it. Love the look of this guy. Love the look of the packaging. Like some dust on top there, but it's okay. But he originally was connected with him in that SDCC exclusive. And just one more inbox comparison. Here we have Ulik next to the 80 years Marvel Legends of the Mighty Thor. I bought this at a local comic book shop. I missed out on him at mass retail. Paid a couple extra bucks a couple of years ago. I've just never had the heart to take him out of the packaging. It looks so good in that 80 years box. I opened most of my action figures on our live stream. However, he needed to stay in box. He sits on my shelf. He looks great. Apparently I just have an issue with opening Thors. I don't know. But now let's get to taking a closer look at Ulik out of the packaging. And here's our first look at Ulik out of the packaging. And I'll tell you what, this guy is hefty. He's a big, chunky, Build-A-Figure type deluxe action figure, which I guess you knew when you got him. But he is great, never having had the original in hand, being that it was that SDCC exclusive. This guy just already seems much better after seeing comparisons of that first version. We have so many accessories with this guy. The colors on it, the greens just pop. There's paint on the arms, on the feet, on the legs. This guy just looks fantastic. I can't wait to get him off the stand, mess around him a little bit, and see what he can do with articulation. And as I said earlier, one of my favorite things to do is compare him to other action figures. So we'll definitely be checking that out as well. Let's get in there and take a closer look at this guy and see what he can do and how he moves. Before even getting to articulation, let's take a closer look at this head sculpt. That looks so freaking good. Obviously, there are two head sculpts. We'll take a look at the second one in a little while. Closer up, he looks even better. The back, just how this chainmail looks, for armor across the back. Obviously, we have the paint going down here along the sides. They went the extra mile with some paint, obviously on the arms, shoulder, down here on the lower forearm into the hand. I really like the texture. If you can kind of see here, we have a great texture on this guy. The front looks great. I love the emblem right here in the chest. The necklace is removable, which we'll take a closer look at when we do a head swap. Again, as far as paint goes down here, on the feet, on the hair, the toes are painted, fingernails are painted. Again, looking great overall. Now let's see how this guy can move. And as far as articulation goes, the head will swivel and rotate all the way around. You get a little bit of down with the head, not very much up, unfortunately. As far as the arm articulation goes, shoulders, we're not going to do a T. I'm not going to force it. That's about as far out as I can get the shoulder. We do have rotation, but as I've seen in other reviews, just be careful. You do have the hair or fur coming out on the shoulder there. There is bicep swivel going on right here, which goes all the way around. We get a single jointed elbow, which just about 90, nothing crazy, but with a Build-A-Figure or deluxe size figure, what can you really expect? As far as the hand goes, you do get rotation, obviously, on the hand. We do get the horizontal articulation there on the hand as well. I love these knuckle dusters. I think it's Uru metal he's got going on. That looks really great. As far as the torso, this is where it kind of lacks, unfortunately. I don't want to force mine, but you're not getting much forward or backward. That torso is kind of locked. Also, I'm a little bit skeptical of this. Very loose waist. Again, some of the reviews I've seen when it first got released for show back in March, I had heard that was a bit of an issue as well. Down here with the legs, you do get the single jointed knees, about as far back as that is going to go. Pins obviously are here, but they're not really that intrusive to see on the figure. They're painted in. Again, he's got to be careful getting the knee all the way back. As far as the upper thigh rotation, you can see we get that right there. Kicking, you're going to get about that far up, which is pretty good for that big of a guy. Backwards, not much, but why is he kicking backwards in the first place, right? Feet, you do get great articulation there, about that far up in the foot, about that far down, and you do get that great rocker from side to side. This is very smooth coming right out of the box, which was great. Sometimes you move these things around, they're not the best in hand, but again, he moves very well as far as the arms, legs, everything are concerned. So articulation, pretty good for a bigger guy. You're not going for a lot of dynamic poses with somebody like this, but for what he is and what he can do for the size that he is pretty damn good. As far as his extra accessories go, we do get his kind of melee weapon going on, which is, I guess, a mace. There is some marbling, as you can see, with the paint. It's a very large weapon for a large dude, which is pretty cool to see, obviously. So this is pretty good. This will look pretty awesome when you're pairing him up against the Thor when he has Mjolnir, and obviously the mace is getting swung around. And then otherwise, we do get two alternate hands, a left and a right, which are fists, again, with those kind of knuckle dusters of the, I believe it's Uru metal. If I'm saying it incorrectly, feel free to let me know in the comments. And again, as you can see here, the thumbnails are painted on each of these. But of course, he does have his fingers tucked inside his fist to basically throw some pretty large haymakers. So the extra hands, or fists, I should say, are a very nice touch to go along with this guy for some fighting poses. And last, we do get the extra head sculpt, which is more of the yelling sculpt here with the wide open mouth. Did a really nice job with the teeth. You do get the longer teeth here in the bottom, obviously. Definitely a ferocious look. The hair is a little bit spiky, so I'm sure when we're putting that swapping heads, we have to be careful with that. But again, whereas this head sculpt that we have in the back is more of kind of a smiling look, this is definitely more of a battle cry. So if you have him kind of swinging that mace around, probably going to want to go with this head sculpt. Being thorough, here's a look at the removable necklace. Not a lot going on here. I almost feel like this might be like reused from, I don't know, maybe a Black Panther figure or something. It just could be the fact that it's a basic looking necklace. Almost kind of tribal in a way. The emblem here does look similar to the emblem he does have on his chest of his armor, but again, just thin plastic, very easily removed off of the neck when you do remove the head. Now let's look at the other head sculpt on the body. Up close look at the other head sculpt, and again, I love this one. I love the ferocity in it. I love those teeth. You can see how large those actually are going up there. So again, great look. The hair looks awesome, kind of wind blown in a way. You can kind of see them here side by side, whereas again, this is the closed teeth look versus the open mouth. I feel like this one would be kind of posturing, getting ready to lunge and attack, and this would be when he actually engages with his foe. But again, just very well done. Love getting multiple hands and multiple head sculpts with a figure, especially something that's a deluxe. So yeah, I'm digging it. It's really great. Also, here's a closer look at him holding the weapon. He holds it very well. The hand is very malleable. It's not hard. It's flexible enough to get it in there. You're not going to have to heat it up or anything. He holds it well. And also, again, shout out to MCU Collector. Give credit where credit is due. He did point out the fact that in his right hand, which is the weapon holding hand, he does have that vertical hinge, which allows him to do a lot more with it when he's fighting versus the horizontal hinge that they do have on the punching fist. And a closer look at the dusters there once the hand is on. I will probably have him holding the weapon along with a fisted hand to kind of mix up the two of them. And again, due to the articulation, you can kind of give him some pretty cool poses. Let's get him up here on the rotating base, holding the weapon for a closer look at how he can move around. And again, I think did an awesome job with this. I think it's a great reuse of an SDCC exclusive for what they are charging for it. I think it's well priced in that deluxe figure range. And frankly, I'm glad to have him in my collection because he's going to look great on the shelf. Now, let's get to the fun part. Let's compare him to some other figures, Build-A-Figure and otherwise. Here is how he sizes up with a standard 6-inch Bucky mold size action figure with the Giant Man Marvel Legends Nick Fury. You can see as a deluxe, he definitely looks like a skyscraper compared to one of the smaller standard 6-inch Marvel Legends, older bucks, of course. We're getting the new Vulcan one coming around the corner. So definitely much larger than your standard 6-inch Marvel Legend for sure. And here's Ulik with a fellow deluxe-sized action figure, the Monster Venom Deluxe. That was, I believe, a fan channel exclusive. You can see Ulik even bigger than Monster Venom, which again is reuse of that original Venom Build-A-Figure. Love this Venom, but I'll tell you what, the fact that Ulik is a whole head size taller is surprising, seeing them side to side. And the mass is actually pretty similar between the two. But yeah, there he is against the Venom. Here he is standing with the Marvel Legends X-Men Build-A-Figure Apocalypse figure from several years ago. You can see Apocalypse really pretty much similar height. Obviously, we have a lot more mass, a lot more plastic going on with the Ulik. The head sculpt and the hair definitely makes him look a lot taller. However, really, if that hair were flat down, I think they'd be pretty similar in height. As far as, again, mass and this amount of plastic used, definitely going to have to give the size and the girth here to Ulik. Another personal favorite for my collection, the Walgreens exclusive Ben Grimm the Thing Fantastic Four figure standing here with Ulik. And again, Ulik making him look small. Ben, I believe, having longer arms. But again, as far as the height is concerned, not even close to the size here of Ulik. And again, Ulik just wider in the chest and overall just a much larger, chunkier figure than Ben Grimm is here. Slightly more comparable here in size, here is my recently built and acquired Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Armadillo from the Spider-Man series. Here, again, looking at it pretty even. I have to say the hair on the head sculpt giving Ulik the height here advantage ahead of Armadillo. But as far as, again, the just the sheer amount of plastic of the Build-A-Figure Armadillo, I'm going to have to give him the difference in overall mass. But you can see they do scale very well together as big, chunky deluxe versus Build-A-Figure sizes. Here we have a Target exclusive versus a Walmart exclusive. The Target exclusive Red Hulk, very elusive in the collecting community. Definitely having a figure here that does stand much taller, not much taller, but certainly taller than Ulik. I think mass is actually pretty equal here. It's pretty comparable. When you actually look at the arms, the legs, and the chest size, definitely a wider back, and obviously the trap's much bigger on the Hulk, giving him that advantage in mass. But again, you can see here just how big and chunky that Ulik really is as compared to a large buck like is used for all these different Hulk figures like the Maestro and the different versions we've got of the Hulk, whether it's the red, the various greens, or the gray. And just kind of going across the lines here to some different action figure lines. Here he is standing with a Mythic Legion's Krampus from this past year. And again, obviously not much of a size comparison here, but taking a look at these two action figures on the rotating base and just their face sculpts, their head sculpts, and just essentially the differences in sculpt compared to a traditional Marvel Legend or action figure looks pretty great. Wouldn't mind seeing these two guys kind of go toe-to-toe. Here's Ulik standing with the McFarlane DC Multiverse Lobo action figure. He's a big fragger when you take a look at him. Again, obviously, this is our first 7-inch scale action figure thrown in there. Our other figures were from Marvel Legends or Mythics, which I believe Mythics is also a 6-inch scale. Let me know in the comments if I'm incorrect on that. I always like to be educated. But he actually looks pretty good there with Lobo as well. Here's Ulik standing with the NECA Raphael from the 2-pack that he came with Casey Jones from the TMNT film franchise. And again, it's always fun just kind of mixing lines, seeing how these figures do stand with each other, whether they are different scales or not. Just fun mixing them up on the shelf. Ulik obviously towering over the G.I. Joe Classified Hasbro Bat Android action figure. Gotta love those. But again, not much of a match for Ulik. Finally, one final comparison. Here is Ulik standing with the Jazzwares AEW Unrivaled Orange Cassidy. And you know what? I don't think these guys would fight. I think that Orange would just give them the thumbs up and probably just roll right out of there. One final look at the Marvel Legends Deluxe Walmart exclusive Ulik Thor action figure. Absolutely love this dude. He's huge, he's chunky, he's beefy, he looks great with other figures. He's pretty damn posable for a bigger action figure. Again, do not go running out right to your Walmart. As I did get this from the Nerdzoic toy store. Check him out on Instagram, YouTube, and basically all social media. Not only does he have a toy store, he does some pretty freaking awesome Marvel Legends and other action figure videos, top 10 list, all that great stuff. So always worth checking him out and checking out his toy store. Always enjoy being able to support the little guy as opposed to always buying things from the big box retailers. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun opening this guy up. I don't do a lot of reviews. I really have to be passionate and really excited about a figure to do them. So hopefully this helps you out in deciding whether or not you want to pick this guy up once he is available at mass retail at Walmart. With that said, thank you again for watching. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps us out tremendously growing the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. It'll tell you when we post new content here on the channel, which are usually toy hunts, usually twice a week here on the channel. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. And for daily toy content and daily toy updates, check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Disavowed_12. If you're going out hunting this weekend, remember the big 3 Ps of the toy hunt: persistence, patience, but most of all, politeness. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.